Brilliant day for football today, particularly if you're a Newcastle or Man United fan. But Spurs fans, you might want to turn down the volume on your radio for 30 seconds or so as you're about to be reminded of an afternoon that you will certainly want to quickly forget.
Into the area, the low shot is driven in! 5-0! Alexander Isak within seconds of the game! I don't believe this! I do not believe this! Inside the opening 21 minutes, Newcastle United 5, Tottenham 0.
Yeah, after just 21 minutes today, Newcastle United were 5 goals ahead. They eventually ran out 6-1 winners against Tottenham, and the North London side may be chasing European football, but they've been subject to a load of criticism this season, including from former midfielder Chris Waddle on 5 Live earlier.
They just lied down from the minute. I've got to say, Romario, World Cup winner. But that was absolutely, I'm not just digging him out, you can dig the lot out for me. Absolutely disgrace. And all them Tottenham fans who made a joke, I hope they reimburse him.
Yeah, talking about Christian Romero, I think they're not Romario, the Brazilian. But yeah, might as well have been Romario the way that the defending was going. Anyway, listening to that was Spurs fan Chris Cowlin, who's the host of the Spurs Chat podcast. Evening, Chris. Fair reflection from Chris Waddle?
Absolutely. It was an absolutely shocking display from Spurs today. The fans do deserve better. We've got so many issues at the club at the moment, on the pitch, off the pitch, but that was simply unacceptable for such a big game when we're chasing Champions League football. To let Newcastle score the way that they did inside 61 seconds and then to be 5-0 down after 21 minutes, it was simply embarrassing.
What happened?
We just didn't show up. And the fact that our captain, Hugo Lloris, has come out and said that the players had no pride and no fight today, it is shocking. And as I say, the fans deserve better. We have had a very frustrating, very up and down season. Of course, Antonio Conte has left. Fabio Paratici has left now, our managing director, a couple of days ago. The players just aren't playing. No one seems to be playing for one another at the moment. There's no pride, there's no passion. The board, there are problems at all levels. And what I would say at the moment is if the board aren't going to change the way they do things, I think that they need to seriously consider selling the club, because we have gone around in circles since Pochettino left in 2019. Of course, he took us to a Champions League final. We've gone round in circles, and now it is going dramatically downhill, which is a real worry, because a lot of fans are falling out of love with this club right now.
Yeah, you made that 600-mile round trip. You were in the away end at St James's Park today. Firstly, how badly do you want your money back after that? And actually your day as well, I imagine.
I think the club do need to offer all of the away fans a refund. Sadly, I saw a lot of the fans going out of the stadium after 21 minutes. You've got to remember, from London to Newcastle, it's like a 10-hour round trip. I'm still on the way home. And to have your club captain come out and say that there was no pride, no fight today, and the manager, I just feel that the manager needs replacing. At the moment, he's never managed a football club before. He is Conte's assistant. What he is still doing there, I have no idea. It is just a shambles from top to bottom at the moment.
What was the atmosphere like then? 21 minutes, forget that, 70 seconds and you're a goal down after that 10-hour trip. Many people probably went the night before. And so tell us, what was that atmosphere like at the starting whistle, at kickoff, and then after 21 minutes today?
Well, going into the game, of course, you've got to remember that Stellini has been in charge for 3 games. A draw at Everton, a win against Brighton, very fortunate with VAR decision that went for us, and then a very poor defeat last week at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 3-2 against Bournemouth. So going into this game, I think a lot of Spurs fans were extremely worried about what was going to happen, but we needed to start the game well. And when you've had a number of defenders that literally just let a Newcastle player weave past them, score within 61 seconds. Now, Newcastle, at the moment, they've only lost one game at home all season. It's a very, very difficult place to go. They're a side that is flying in the league table right now. But you've got to remember that Spurs are going for a European spot, either Champions League, Europa League or Europa Conference League. And when you look at the table right now, it looks like Spurs could even finish as low as 8th, because we've got Villa, Brighton, Liverpool all right behind us. Newcastle and Manchester United are now ahead of us. But the atmosphere, throughout was terrible. Although midway through the second half, the Spurs fans, the ones that were still in the stadium, were singing because we support our club. But honestly, there are so many issues at this club right now that need sorting, and fast. And, it's got to start with a decent manager search. A number of the fans want Pochettino back. He's now in talks with Chelsea, which is another mess. So who do we go and get? I believe that we need to start from scratch. But whoever comes in, they have got an awful lot to do.
Is it really about the manager, though, Chris? You'll know more than me, but the way I look at it is, I'm an outsider, don't support Spurs, but Stellini, I know when Conte was at the club and he had to take some time off for his operation, his recovery, and I think he went like 4 games unbeaten, won 3, drew 1 or something like that. So the players were performing then. Is it down to the players a little bit? And also, I know you're talking about maybe a new manager search, but it's hardly like Mourinho and Conte. Okay, it might not be the most exciting football, but they are proven winners.
They're proven winners, but they need a lot better players. So in transfer windows, Pochettino went through a stage of 518 days where we didn't spend a penny. And of course, transfer windows after that, under Jose Mourinho, Nuno Espirito Santo and Antonio Conte, yes, we brought players in, but we should have brought a better calibre of player in, and that is really showing now on the pitch. Stellini is still there, which is very, very, very unusual. When a manager normally goes, the whole backroom staff goes with them. So it's a very, very unusual decision to keep Stellini at the club. He changed it today. He went with a flat back 4 for the first time this season in such an important game. It's 4th v 5th in the Premier League, fighting for a European spot. It was a really, really poor decision, and I'll be honest, I will be very surprised if Christian Stellini is still in charge of Spurs for the Manchester United game on Thursday.
Okay, Chris, thank you so much, and keep going to those matches, because that's what it's all about. I suppose you fans, through thick and thin, you are there for your clubs, and it's certainly a difficult time for Spurs at the moment. Chris Cowlin, host of the Spurs Chat podcast, 9:41 here on 5 Live.